That takes us to our 1:30 p.m. General Plan Amendment Initiation Proceedings. Item 15.1, we have several speakers on. And let's see, item 15, there's a recommendation to continue item 15.1 off calendar. However, if the speakers want to speak today, we'll be happy to hear from them. And we have Gary Grant, George Haig. That's it. Gary Grant and George Haig. Gary?
Good afternoon, Mr. Buster. I've no doubt that most of you realize that I was involved with the Highway 74 for many years. And Highway 74 was a major highway, and I got the privilege of being on the Commission of Safety. And the subject of this road came up just recently, and it perked my interest because of the fact that it was a highway, been there for a long time, was an original state highway, and was...
It is a state highway.
It still is a state highway?
Yeah, I know
okay.
It is now. They moved it.
County road. But I went there purposely to see what the problems were on this road in the relationship to safety, etc. I found that the unsafe conditions were created by the property owner themselves, a major property owner, and I did not know who it was. As far as I was concerned, it was a studio area, and it was a huge house, etc., right on this main highway. But their attorney that came to this board meeting to request that this road be closed and taken an alternative route brought the interest of my concerns about the financial cost of this change and what was the justification of the change. I felt that the unsafe conditions were created by the individual who was applying to have the road closed off and to create another road alternatively that would cost the public a considerable amount of money, but no expense to the property owner themselves. And I thought this was unjust. It's like doing favors. And there was no favors done on Highway 74. Everybody accepted the changes of the road because we had a lot of dangerous areas there. So the road was straightened out to a fair degree and would satisfy the position of the people within that district area. Now my concern is this person who has taken the liberty to call an attorney in to represent him to create an alternative route past this place as a privilege. And I feel that democracy does not allow favors and plums for any benefit whatsoever to just one or two people. This is a democracy of we the people. And under those circumstances, I feel that this should not be on your agenda, but should be on the agenda of reconditioning, as I stated before at the previous meeting, to realign the road within the district that it is in. And there's no problem there. Just realign it. And it appears that the alignments, encumbrances, have been created by the owner of these properties. So to me, it's a shut and dry case that
Thanks, Mr. Grant.
We shouldn't take no alternative. Do I have a 3-minute limit on
right.
any? Yes. I do?
Yep.
You know, we're limiting the general public to a lot of things these days.
You're getting so skilled at expressing yourself eloquently within a very short period of time.
You speaking for minutes.
I know, we ramble on.
Probably 15 minutes.
I know.
You realize
I need to shorten up myself.
Now, there's an unfairness there, isn't there?
I agree that's unfair, but that's the way, the way it works.
Well, Did you want to speak? Go ahead. Go ahead, Gary. If you had something else to say, George, you don't need to say anything? Okay, all right. Go ahead, Gary. I'll give you a couple.
Nothing to say.
Yeah, so you've agreed with me that, and now I've got an extra 5 minutes, and
No.
I should have been
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Nice.
Oh, you
try.
didn't. It was a nice try.
Which you don't have to use.
But the point is, I don't believe in favors, and I think that this consideration is go about it fairly and put it to the public, general public, and ask them with regard to the realignment. I thought that was the most just condition to occur. So realignment to me was the fairness of this process, and that's all I want to express is how the general public, or we the people, and I'm sure you've been to your constituents and you've discussed this issue. So, and I represent on the 5th District. So I appreciate the fact that you listened to me, and I got my extra 3 minutes. Thank you very much.
Mr. Gary, part of this project is in the 5th, so it starts off from Highway 79, it branches off until it gets down near the first building. It's actually in the 5th District, the road is. So, see, you're representing the 5th District. Thank you.
I appreciate that. But I've taken on the position of helping other districts to organize so that we can come here as a fair process of our government and our democracy. Thank you very much.
Also, yeah, Mr. Grant, and I appreciate that you're mentioning, the fairness and democracy. I hope you'll agree with us that if you're an applicant and you want to put in a application and you want to pay the $8,000 fee, that you should be entitled to do so, whether you as a constituent sitting in the audience agree with what is being proposed or not being proposed. That's all that you're seeing here today. This is not something that was agendized by a member of the board. It was somebody that paid the fee to have something considered. It's going to get an up or a down vote. Staff's recommendation is to deny it. So the public is here to give us their input. So I hope you're seeing democracy in action here. I hope you believe in due process, and if somebody wants to file an application, that their issue should be appropriately heard by the Board of Supervisors.
Yeah. Now, you made a comment, sir, and if I may, I can come back on that, because the fact is that it's not a general understanding that you can apply to have a road changed by an individual who lives on an existing road. I never came across that understanding in Highway 74, which was a major highway. And so consequently, I feel that, in my opinion, it's a favoritism.
Well, remember, this is what you call a general plan initiation proceeding. This does not guarantee anyone that what is being proposed is actually going to be delivered. It's saying we want to study the opportunity, whether or not there's an alternative road that would allow for this particular road that does have some safety issues, to have a better alternative. And certainly I agree with you. It should not come at public expense. And this is what the process is all about, to evaluate all of the scenarios. But just by fact that it's on the agenda is due process to the applicant. It doesn't mean it's going to get a yes or no vote when a time comes.
Yeah, I don't see that happening down in the Moine country, though. So I
Thanks, Mr. Grant.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. And maybe we need to have council clarify what is the current recommendation. We have two recommendations on our agenda: tentatively decline, and then continue matter to February 8th, and then on our update, it says that it's continue to off calendar. So what is the current?
I think the department's current request, or the applicant's request, is that this be continued off calendar. Is that correct?
Take it off the.
One of you two here.
Mr. Perez, our transportation director.
I'm not sure if the applicant is in the audience and they can address whether that's specifically the request, but just give a little bit of background. When this issue came to the Planning Commission, the recommendation from Planning and the Transportation Department at the time was not to proceed with the original application, which was to close the road, but because we couldn't support that. However, that for a number of reasons I've outlined, and I can certainly go over them if the board is interested in them, that we would be open to a study for a realignment. So that is that's the current application and recommendation before you. I'll defer to the planning department. I believe my understanding was we were going to, there was a request from the applicant to continue for some period of time because, as you can imagine, it is an issue of great interest to the community. I know the Soboba tribe is an interested party, and my understanding was they weren't going to be able to be here today to testify on the matter. So we did want to continue it for a period of time. It would probably be more appropriate, I think, to take it off calendar, and that way it can be rescheduled once the parties are available to comment on it.
Okay, thanks for that clarification. Mr. Choquette.
That made it perfectly clear.
Yeah, good afternoon, Supervisors. I'm kind of surprised that this got taken off calendar today because Samuel Alhadeff was in the meeting most of the day, so he could have easily talked about it, so I don't know what the deal is. But I really want to emphasize that if we're going to do a study on this, that this be looked at from the standpoint that if the road's unsafe, it needs to be widened to the right-of-way that's already there. If you look at the dedication of right-of-way, which is of May 2008, it's very recent, it's set up so all the tight curves in there are straightened out. They think they've done a pretty good job on that, and it would make this road a lot safer. Personally, I also would like that not necessarily the road be made in 4 lanes right away, but that whatever encroachments are on the side, these berms or curbs that have caused cars to flip over and the island in the middle be removed, cleared out, and have a dirt shoulder on either side. I don't think it's a big project. That's the way it should have been done initially, and I think the people responsible for screwing that up in the first place should be the ones that that pay for this. So I ask that also the sprinklers be removed. There's sprinklers right next to the road. The faceplate cameras, the bright lights, and all that be removed. There might be some encroachments of the fences that happen to have spikes pointing inwards. That should also be removed. So that's, I hope that when this gets brought up again, it will be a public discussion. It's not going to be closed, and I will certainly be there to discuss it. Thank you.
No, it'll all be open.
Okay, good.
Now, we have a recommendation then to take this matter, item 15.1, off calendar.
So moved.
Second.
Please vote. And that's carried 4 ayes.